Good evening, my beautiful pandemic people. I just thought I would get on here one last time to air it out, to clear my throat, to get any remaining drama, opinions and things off my chest and release it into the freaking universe. Tomorrow's a new day. I had promised that I was going to return to my normal, happy unicorn self on Monday. And I'm certainly going to pray and meditate and do everything in my power to do just that. This space that I'm in right now, it's heavy. It's painful. And, I'm no stranger to heavy and pain. Been through a lot in my life. So that ain't nothing new. But I have fought so hard to get to a place of healing, to get to a place of peace. This video is not going to be about the hell that I have been through. But what I can tell you that based on the hell that I have been through, when I learned to get my peace, the promise I made to myself was to never, ever give my power to someone else and to never, ever allow anyone to disturb my peace. How do I do that? There's so much going on. You look at me and there's several facets as to who I am. I am a female. I am African American. I am over 50. I am considered short by all intent purposes. So many different categories, and it just got to the point where I spent a lot of time analyzing me and the labels that are associated with me. And I just start tossing them out. Now, I cannot change the color of my skin. I could probably surgically change my gender, which I have no desire to do. No shade to anyone who has. That is just not my desire. Okay? I could probably bleach my skin, but I'm actually like my skin color. I love being black, even with the drama and everything. However, to be black in America, a country, a nation that is already divided by their own shit, when this country got together, when this country was formed, okay, you had two different groups of white people fighting each other for religious freedom and different values. Some wanted to industrialize, it's just, we're in the crosshairs. We, talking about us black people, we're in the middle of something that for a great deal doesn't even really have anything to do with us. We're a byproduct of it. Because once we were part of the economic system and prosperity of this country, we were a commodity that was bought and sold and dehumanized and reduced to nothing. I think less than 3/4 of a human. We were sold on courthouse steps and marketplaces like baskets of fruit. Okay? And we were in the middle of two different groups of white people clashing. Democrats, Republicans, if that's how you want to look at it. I don't even know. All I know is back in the 70s, my dad was a Republican. Okay? And then at some point, and I didn't even know what that was. I just know that he was running for office. And, he was heavy into civil rights and human rights. And I just know that his values greatly aligned with what Republicans was on at that time. And then there was a shift. Again, I was too young to understand it. But even as a young person, as a child, and then a teenager coming up, I understood that it was confusion and it was mess and it was bullshit. So me personally, I have never, even though I was, pre-law and all that, I have never ascribed to politics. I always thought they were messy, shady, right up there with religion, to be honest with you. So I'm just not the person that's gonna, if you look into me, and the reason I'm on here because someone I care very deeply about, who has achieved a great deal of success on their own, more than one person actually, several, and they have platforms, and so they have been persecuted for not using their platform to say what people want them to say. They're not being allowed to use their platform to express their heart and their feelings because they have a different, worldview of the world as they see it. And they're speaking on peace and love and, forgiveness and peaceful protesting and things of that nature. And they're being attacked for it. And so it just kind of like, I'm just like, wow, I don't know. Like me, I see this world like everyone is seeing what's going on right now through the lenses of their experiences, through the lenses of what they have been taught, how they have been raised, what has been indoctrinated into them, their world view, their experiences. And if at some point in their adult life, they don't step back and start to question the things that they have been indoctrinated, the things that they have been taught, the things that have been ingrained in them, and not think that something was wrong, well, they're going to grow up and be these adults that have these preconceived ideas about major world issues. And why do you think that the media is geared and the newspapers are written and all of these things that are disseminated, the information that is disseminated through the television, why do you think that's at a 6th grade level? Because they know people really ain't even reading. People are followers. They get on bandwagons, and they're not really looking at issues. They're not dissecting anything. They're not researching anything. They're not leading from their heart. A lot of it's about money, greed, pride, power, all of this stuff that has nothing to do with anything other than division. As a people, as a race, as a human race, we have been divided on every front. What sports team we're for, what economic status we have, the color of our skin, the religious beliefs that we have, fighting over who's right and who's wrong. Even Christianity within itself has been so split and so divided. You got Church of God in Christ, Church of Christ, Pentecostal, Presbyterian, Baptist. It's just a freaking mess, y'all. And I don't know about you. It's just as I've gotten older, ain't nobody got time for that. Common sense tells me to start studying and to start researching and trying to figure out who I am and what I believe innately. And stop just going by what somebody said. So I just wanted to start off with that because my heart is really heavy it's just so much hate in this world, but there's still way more love. And the thing is, the people who love, the people who are preaching peace and love and togetherness and harmony and all the hippie shit, they're really being talked about bad. Like it's a bad thing. So, I don't know. That hurts my heart really bad. Like, you being hated on because you want peace. And you're not a fighter. Now, here's what I have to say about that. The protesting and the violence is coming from experience also. You also have to understand that it's not, there's a group of people who have decided to come, all of a sudden a light switch has flipped on today, and a certain group of people have awakened and decided, you know what, this shit is fucked up, and we're, as a collective, we're not going to have it anymore. But here's the thing, you know, a friend of mine was on today talking about how it's okay for a certain group of people to go out and protest in this manner and do graffiti and flip over cars and break out windows and do this shit, and it's nothing but because it's in light of what happened to this black man being killed by a cop, it's all getting blended in. So now all this violence, you know, it's taking away from the matter at hand. And it's just a big ball of confusion and a big mess at the end of the day, when the simple remedy is to be just and to be fair and to be honest. With that, I wouldn't be on here having this talk with you right now. You know, with that, there are so many people, and I'm saying people for the All Lives Matter people. Okay. But at the end of the day, you have to be blind to see the disparity in justice. You have to be blind not to understand that there is an issue and a great divide in this country, and that there is blood on America's hands. You have to be blind not to see that. So, the wrongs that have been done over 400 years ago have not been corrected. And so we just keep covering up and sweeping it up under the rug and covering it up and sweeping it under the rug and throwing money on it and government assistance and all this stuff. And it ain't, and you know, excuse me, I do have colorful language. I'm doing my best right now not to come across that way. But I'm not going to make any promises. I think everybody that follows me at this point, now that I'm 56, y'all kids that follow me, they grown too. So they've been cussing since they was 15, 16 anyway. So I might get a little colorful. Okay. But anyway, I digress. The blood is on America's hands for the wrong. Now, we're going to talk about all this rioting and looting and violence. How did this country get to be what it is? Sips tea. Okay? How? How did Christianity take the forefront? Do we not talk about the Crusades, the KKK, the Knights Templar, all that violence and stuff that has taken place in this world at the hands of the people who have control? Where was this behavior learned? Now, I ain't gonna get into a history lesson, but a whole group of people been put on reservations. Okay? They was already here. But some horrible things happened. Violence, rioting, murder, and mayhem. But see, when that happened, it was called the survival of the fittest, I think. Right? I mean, how was that justified? How was that right? I'm sure those people were being peaceful and got ran over and overtaken. Then they decided to go over across seas and bring some other folks over here against their will that was over there in the land of milk and honey, minding their good business. Then they get over here. It ain't indentured servanthood. It ain't you gonna pay me for doing a fair day's work for a fair day's pay. Nah, nigga. You a slave. You're not even human. And the color of your skin is a curse. And that is what we're going to spread across the globe. That you are cursed because of the color of your skin. Misinterpreting, by the way, scripture and teaching it as doctrine. If you got time, go read Deuteronomy 28. God's talking about his blessings and he's talking about his cursings when he is making his covenant with his people. Now, all the blessings, they sing that at church all day long. We are blessed in the city. We are blessed in the field. We are blessed when we go and when we come. We can't. Okay, y'all know the song. They talk about that. Ain't nobody talked about the curses, though. You need to do your own Bible study and go read the curses. Because they identify a certain group of people. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of that information on tonight, but I challenge you. It's in Isaiah, it's in Jeremiah, it's all through the Old Testament, okay? But basically, when God made his covenant with his people, he told them that it was already mayhem and all this other stuff going on, worshiping other gods and just, whatever, however it came about, I don't know. But at the end of the day, he said, now, there wasn't anything special about this people other than he chose them. Period. That's it. It's just he chose them. That's what made them special. It wasn't because there was something about them. It's because he chose them to use them to be an example and to be a set apart people. He said, and if you keep my commandments, none of these curses will come upon you. But if you do not keep my commandments, these are the curses that will come upon you. And it is a whole laundry list. But I want to bring your attention to, you will be bound with chains and fetters around your neck. You will be taken to a nation and a continent with a fierce countenance as swift as the eagle flies. What does the eagle represent? Close your eyes. America. Somebody might refute that. I don't even care. I'm not here to debate it. I'm just telling you what the word says. It says you will be stripped of your language and your culture, and your children you will not see. First of all, being stripped of your language and your culture, we're the only people on the planet, not the United States, the planet, that do not have a nationality. The people in America, as America is the melting pot, and people have immigrated, they're immigrants, okay, migrated over here. Even the Irish have a hard luck story, and I can relate to it, and I get it. The Polish and some of the other Germans who were of the Jewish descent, and I say Jewish because they were Jews by conversion, not Jews by nationality. Don't ever get that twisted. Okay, in 1948, the government made Israel a state. God didn't do that. He said, I will gather my people from the four winds of the earth. Okay, not the UN, not none of that. Okay, that was man's doing. But that might be another topic, but it's all relevant. Jewish. Okay, they were not Hebrews. All right, we're the only people on the planet that do not have a nationality. We've been called colored. We've been called black. We've been called African American, which that is an oxymoron. Because Africa and America are two different continents. Everybody else that comes over here can identify themselves with who they are. Period. If you came from Poland, Russia, Germany, Spain, you know that you are German. You know that you are Mexican. You know that you are Puerto Rican. You know where you came from. Okay? So, when we hear, go back to Africa, I'm here to inform you that the Africans don't like us. Okay? They're the ones who actually sold us into slavery, into chattel slavery. Hello, Crystal. we all had brown skin and we all looked alike, but there were certain things that distinguished us from other brown people, such as our head covering, the way that we worshiped monotheistically. We weren't polytheistic. We worshiped the one true God. We had dietary restrictions. There was a code that we lived by. So we were set apart because we were different. Why? Because of the commandments that God gave. But when we start intermingling and intermarrying and taking on different religions and things of that nature, God became angry with us. And that's where you see these curses come into play. He also said, you will be the builders of houses that you will not live in. You will plant vineyards that you will not eat from. He said that you will be taken into bondage again by ship. If you don't believe me, go to Deuteronomy 28. I also want to direct you to Genesis. It might be Genesis 3:10 or Genesis 10:3. Forgive me. I had sat the book down for a while after my parents passed away, but I'm getting back to it. But it's in here. It talks about the genealogy of the people as Noah had the 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and how they are the progenitor of all the generations. Well, when it goes on to talk about the Gentiles, it gives you the names of these countries. It's Tubal. I forget all of them now, but when they break down and translate it to where they are now, it's Spain, Turkey, Germany, Russia, everything in the Caucasus Mountains. Okay? It says Caucasus Mountains in Genesis. Okay? Caucasus, Caucasian, Caucasoid, mountains. Okay? And it says, from these were the isles of the Gentiles divided. Those are your Gentiles. All this talk about if you ain't born again or if you ain't a Christian or, like we're Gentiles and these people who are being told that, they're God's chosen people, whatever, that's all of that is, y'all need to do your research. I'm going to just leave it at that. And no, I am not a Hebrew Israelite by religion and all that. I don't ascribe to any of that. I'm just telling you that we are the only people on the planet that don't have a nationality because it was stripped from us. Period. America got blood on its hands. Okay? After slavery was over and we got released, they didn't know what to do with us because we were property. We weren't humans, remember? They had already put it out into the atmosphere that we ain't shit. So us not being shit has been perpetuated throughout generation to generation to generation to generation to generation. Period. To the point where now we believe, and when I say we, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about as a people, believe we ain't shit. When you tell somebody they ain't shit long enough, they start to believe it, and then they start doing we ain't shit. Like tearing up shit. Does that make sense? We're a product of our environment. And that's period. So don't look at me just because I made my way out or whatever. No, that's by faith. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. It is by faith. And it is applying the word of God to my life. Loving your enemies, blessing those who curse you, turning the other cheek. I believe in the teachings of Yeshua HaMashiach. I believe them because they work. He said his word is spiritual and life-giving. Spiritual and life-giving. All this stuff that's going on right here in the 3rd or 4th dimension, that's physical. That's temporary. That's earthly, sensual. Hood. That's what it is. And it's just a vicious cycle. I was a baby when Rodney King got the crap beat out of him. I was horrified and terrified for my father and my brother and my cousins at that time as a little girl. I remember that. Okay? This ain't nothing new. It's just that now we have social media and cell phones and, people filming shit and going live. So now it's in your face. But this has been happening for over 400 years, y'all. Where have you been? Have you been sleeping? Like, what? This is not news. Period. On the 4th of July, when we were all celebrating the independence of the United States, my people were still enslaved. We would not see freedom until sometime in the 1800s. 1776 is when the Declaration of Independence was written. They wasn't talking about us with liberty and justice for all. They were not. So if you want to ask what we need to do to make things better, burn that shit up. And let's start over. Can we get a do-over? Can we get a do-over? Everybody in the Senate, in the Congress, everybody, it just needs to be torn down and start over. A government by the people for the people. Now that we are a people, can we start there? I'm just saying, because I got people asking me, what can we do? This now is ingrained in the psyche of the planet. God gonna do what he gonna do to make it happen. So when I talked about the no judge zone, please refrain yourself from judging anyone before their time, for judging anyone for the things that you see taking place right now, because you don't understand and you don't know. If you're questioning it or judging it or putting your mouth on it, you don't know the heart, the mind, and the soul of the people that you're talking about. It's just best that you understand where you're coming from and how you're dealing with it and what you're going to do about it. Because it's all relevant and it all has its place. Why? Because God is sovereign. He sees it all and he's allowing it all. Judgment has come to our house this day. Hello? We're under judgment, Christian. We're under judgment. Period. So, it's going to be all right. We're going to get through it. I believe that with every fiber of my being. I believe when Martin Luther King said he got a dream, I believe his dream wholeheartedly. That's why I choose to hold on to that. When Sam Cooke's song, A Change Gonna Come, that's my favorite song. I break down and cry every time I hear it. Because just when you think that we've made some strides or whatever, there's always another setback. And when are y'all gonna figure out that we wrestle not against principalities, against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places? All of us, the humanity, the collective, each and every one of us. The only thing separating us is economics and the color of our skin at the end of the day. And if we can set those things aside and look at the fact that we all have the same organs, the same physical layout, the architectural plan is still the same. We just came in a different wrapper. Okay? And if we can come together on one accord as the human race, a lot of this shit will cease. And I do see that happening. I really do. And so to the people who are angry about that happening, there are people that want separatism. There's black people that want it and there's white people that want it. They're going to have their separatism. They're going to have it. But those who want unity and want peace, they will have that. One way or the other. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Period. So if you're going to die for something, die for righteousness' sake. Period. Not on some separate, stupid. To me, people are collecting their marbles and, cheating and don't want to play fair and acting like children. I don't understand. How can such a prosperous, beautiful, blessed country that's supposed to be the leader of the world domination. How do we get here? It's because we have not rectified the wrongs that we have done. And the cries of God's people are reaching to the heavens, and utter chaos has come. The pandemics. Y'all done heard about these killer hornets. Okay? Do y'all know that it's the year of the locust? The weather's acting up. Listen, stop looking at this from a physical worldview, a physical point of view. Tap into the spirit. Tap into the frequency of love. You are energy. You are power. You are spirit. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. And we got to start seeing past all that makes us different and start paying attention to what makes us the same. Do you not think that God is orchestrating that? Do you not think the word says he's going to bring all things unto himself? One God, one Lord, one baptism. We are all one. So it wasn't meant to be that way. Diversity, absolutely. So that God's love can be expressed in different ways. Okay, I get it. But even the way that people are expressing themselves in the unrest. Am I condoning the looting and the vandalism and all of that? Absolutely not. I ain't down with none of that. The protesting, absolutely. But just because I support it don't mean I'm going to be down there. You know? But I don't have anything to say. Yeah, is it wrong? Yes. Is it illegal? Yes, it is. I don't condone any of that. It ain't going to change nothing. It ain't going to make anything right. But these are the repercussions of blood guiltiness on a nation who has not repented of her sins. And her sins have reached to high heaven, period. So you want to know what's going to happen? It is written. But I also believe that we have the power. God gave us the power. We are the curse and we are also the cure. We're the curse and we are the cure. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. So people are mad about people praying. They feel like God had left the building. Why are we praying? We've been praying for 400 years. Ain't nothing changed. Well, you know, hi, sissy. Some things have changed. Some things haven't. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's why you got to take your own power back. How do you do that? You can be in prison. Physically, we're in prison, all of us. We're slaves, all of us. Even my white counterparts, my Caucasian friends. If you don't know, you were a slave too. When you were born and your mom and dad got that Social Security card and your birth certificate, your certificate of birth, that is a deed of trust so that these United States can borrow against you. You property too, baby. Y'all just didn't know. You know, you oppressed too with taxes and the same shit. So we all in this together. And, you know, within each of our communities, be it black, white, Hispanic, Asian, and all the myriad of different people that are over here, we all got bad apples within our own communities. We all got people in our own, you know, race, faith, whatever, that are undesirables. So you can't generalize and say, all people, black people are this, all white people are this, all Asians, all Mexicans. That is the mistake that we're making. Instead of all the human beings that are on the same wavelength, the same page, the same frequency, getting together and overpowering and overcoming this bullshit, we just gonna keep flopping around like a fish on the dock and nothing. I'm really praying that something happens. I mean, my God, who ain't nobody even talking about Corona no more? Is it safe? Are we safe? With all these people gathering together, rioting and shit, and then going back to work on Monday, are we okay? Ain't nobody talking about that though. While all this stuff is going on, what else is being worked on? What's the next shoe that's gonna get dropped? From a spiritual standpoint, are we pawns on a freaking chessboard? And are we falling for it? Are we following blindly? Are we lining up and doing exactly what they want us to do? They being the ones who is controlling all this. It ain't about color. It's about power and money. So, this is my no judge zone. To my positive vibes people, I love you. Continue to send up light and love and positive vibes throughout this universe. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. We love you and we need your light in this world. We need you. We need you. So the people who are shunning you and mad at you because you're one of those happy, happy, joy, joy people, I'm one of them. But mind you, I got a little hood too. I got to tell you, but I don't care to operate in that because I just, the mindset is dark and it's just not some place I want to be. It's not productive. It's not productive. That's another thing. All this hate and right. If you let that happen, just let them do what they're going to do. But don't you be so in tuned and attached to it that it draws you in and you can't get nothing done yourself. What is that? Watching that, what is that going to do for you? It's okay to check in and get an update or whatever, but to be posted up and feeding that, your eyes are the mirror to the soul. Watching this day in, day out, your mentality is getting warped and you're flipping back and forth. And, it's a mess. Turn it off. You got shit to do. When this pandemic is over, are you going to come out of it the way you went in? Because here's the thing. The attitudes and the mentalities that we have had pre-COVID, pre-social unrest, there's going to come a time when we emerge from this that is no longer going to be acceptable. Who you were before with the mask and the assimilation and acceptance. Hey, Bunny, how you doing? And trying to fit in and all that, that's not going to work in what's coming. You would better figure out who you are and whose you are pretty quickly. And really, really start becoming and emerging as your authentic self. Your eternal soul is dependent on that. All this faking and shaking and, whatever. Listen, if you got faith, fine. If you don't, fine. But be honest about it and let's get to it. I mean, my book, and this is a shameless plug, but I'm telling you, my book, when I wrote it in 2010, it really wasn't as relevant because it was in the midst of all the health, wealth, and prosperity preaching. The book is called Heart Condition, From Religiosity to Relationship with the Creator, and it talks about developing that intimate and personal relationship with God. That why do you think the church has been stripped away from us? The building has been stripped away from us. Who are you without the gathering? Who are you when you can't clap your hands and say amen and flip your wig and do booty flips in church and speak in tongues and pay your tithes? Who are you and who is God to you when none of that is available? Who are you? Who is God? Because obviously, with all the social unrest and the rioting and all the stuff that's going on, it's obvious that, I mean, we on some other stuff. So, it really, all of that happened for a reason. I can't speak for anyone else, but my awakening began. It's still continuing, but it began in 2012. God began to open my eyes to some things in 2012. Even the stuff that I shared with you about Deuteronomy 28 and who I am. So start asking questions. Stop just going along to get along and believing everything you see and hear. Walk by faith, not by sight. Did you not know that the devil is the god of this world? We are in his domain. We are in a fallen world. That is biblical. He is the god of this world. We're in it. We're not of it. Our Father's kingdom is not of this world. Read John 17. Okay? What else did I want to talk about? If you don't want to get caught up in this mess, mentally, physically, it's emotionally draining. You go from angry to hurt to deranged to judgmental. It's a mess. It's a shit show. What do? There's a scripture that talks about what to think on. Okay, so in the midst of this chaos and social unrest, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is of a good report, think on those things. Can you do that in the midst of chaos? Can you do that in the midst of social unrest and a pandemic? Can you think on those things? Whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is of a good report, whatsoever is true. Okay? You're not going to know the truth from a lie if you're feasting off media day in and day out. Unplug for a while. You've been listening to it, watching. It's become a part of you now. You got to separate yourself from it so that you can hear when things ain't right. What else? Paralysis. Okay, so if you continue down the path of, just focusing on all the wrong that's going on in this world, you're going to become paralyzed and you're not going to get anything done. Is rioting going on immediately outside your door? Has the social unrest, listen, we are definitely the plight of our people, like the country, the nation, the world. I'm on the world. Yes, America, okay, because I live here and I love my country. I do. But I already know, it's written. It has these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. That's the word. So I ain't even tripping because the Bible says that the perilous times was going to come. They're here. Why are we shocked? Why are we surprised? Why are we like, oh my God? Why? Stand back and watch the salvation of the Lord. Be still and know that he is God. And don't let nobody bully you or shame you into acting a damn fool if that ain't what you called and chosen to do. There are the people who are doing that. They have their purpose as well. That's what they're called and chosen to do. That's why they're doing it. Just like when people sign up, mothers are devastated when their kids are coming home and graduating from school or barely graduating, telling them they done signed, especially black parents, that their kids have signed up for the military. I don't care what branch it is. What? That's a calling. Now, there are some people that are doing it, because they want to get their education. Some people are running away. Some people feel like they don't have any other options. Whatever the case may be, it is a calling. And there's a specific group of people called to do that. There's people called to go to war. They don't even question the issues. They just line up and they go fight and defend this country, no matter if we on bullshit or not. They don't care. They just protecting us so that we can sleep good at night. They don't care about what deals the president is making or not making or whoever. They don't care about any of that. They just want to keep us safe. So that's a calling. The protesters, those who felt led to get out of their beds and go down there and hold up signs, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, all walks of people. If you look at these protests, everybody's there. Everybody's there. And I understand that we want to make this a black issue. Please do not misunderstand me. Being black and understanding the plight of my people, I get that. But I'm looking at the bigger picture. If you handle the bigger picture, that's going to get taken care of. The bigger picture is we have a human problem. We have a human issue. We have a human condition that's messed up. We have a spiritual problem that needs to be reconciled. Spiritually. That's the only thing. That and MK Ultra. What we going to do? Because it's the mind of the world that we are in has been created with the minds and the imagination of people. So get your mind right. Create your own world and be ready at the appearing of Christ. And to some, Christ consciousness, whatever you're going to elevate to or rapture out of, get ready. Be ready. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Get your mind right. All right. What else? I choose not to make a decision between the lesser of two evils. I don't believe in that. Evil's evil. That's just me. I'm learning balance, but I ain't got to where I just can't. You know? I can't support people who are responsible for the majority of my people being incarcerated. So when Deuteronomy said, you will have children and you will not see them, most of our children are either in foster care, in the grave, or in jail. Stop me when I lie. I'm getting tired. God bless them. I appreciate and I love that people want to adopt or foster and care for our children that are being stripped and taken away for whatever reason, because some are justified. And that's in the black and white community, but I'm talking about my people right now. I feel ill when I see little black girls with these white men and their hair ain't combed and they don't even know who they are. They don't know anything about their culture or anything. But these white families are raising our children because we are getting our children taken away by a system. And then we have to go to court and do all these little checks and balances. And some of the foster homes that these kids are being put into are worse than the homes that they came out of. I just want to say that. So yeah, I think I'm done ranting and I'm done. Like, I'm not going to address this. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to post about it anymore. You know, every single day I'm getting more and more information and it's weighing heavily on my spirit. I want to give it space. I needed to give it that space in that time, and all of me. It deserves that. And so I had to do that. I had to do that. I couldn't ignore that. I don't have, over 5,000 followers. I'm not, booming on social media. None of that. I'm just me. And, these are things that my kids are going to be able to, God willing, we still have Facebook, but hopefully my children can come back one day and my grandchildren and look back on these things and look at the things that I have said and spoken and done. And, maybe they'll know me as they get older. And maybe some of the things that I'm sharing will be relevant at a later time. So that's really what Facebook is to me, is just chronicling my life, my journey, my growth, and how I'm evolving through all of this. If you don't get anything else out of it, it needs to be growth. Okay? Don't be stagnant. Don't be stuck. There is even though all this social unrest and mayhem is going on, there are still so many positive things that are going on right now. Even in the midst of furloughs and layoffs, and there's still money to be had, money to be made, money to be gained. It ain't just about money. It's about taking care of yourself and taking care of others. That's what it's about. And who's not working their job to make money? We have to pay bills. We have responsibilities. So, period. Yeah, we talk about money because it's a thing. It's energy as well, and it's needed for sustenance. Like, that doesn't mean we don't believe that God is our sustenance and that God takes care of us. We're in the world, but not of it. So while we in here, we better be figuring out what our moves are, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. And the numbers of unemployment are continuing to rise in the midst of all of this. So, like I said, this is the last night, the last time that, hey, Mike, what's up? That I'm going to even dedicate and give space to this. And I just wanted to get on here publicly to say that, because it's not, if you don't see me sharing or talking about it or anything, don't think for a minute that I have not cried many tears and have had many sleepless nights. But I realize I don't have control over the outcome. I can't do a damn thing about any of this stuff. I can pray. And some people can protest. I can't. I ain't. I'm too old. If they start shooting rubber bullets and, niggas start running and I get trampled, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get hurt. I'm too old. That's not my fight anymore. So I fight with spiritual warfare. Okay? I pray. That's what I do. And I try to be a positive light in this world. And I try to give hope to people. That's my job. That's what I'm called to do. So there's people that might be angry and upset with me. Man, I hate to tell y'all this, but I got to share it with you. Wow. Somebody low-key, they didn't call me this, but they said this about someone who is promoting peace at a time like this. Somebody was... I don't even like these words. I ain't even gonna say it. I'm just not, because I'm done. Because I end up in a whole nother conversation if I go there. So I'm not even going to say it. This is the last night I'm going to talk about this. This is the last night I'm going to address this. I'm definitely going to give my entire heart and soul in prayer and meditation, to George Floyd, his family, and to the young lady that was killed, to Ahmaud that was killed, just everybody that's running through my head right now, that I know there has been injustice. Okay, I'm going to really, really pray. I want to see just justice and fairness. That's what I want. And I'm going to start focusing on what I want, not what I don't want. I'm going to start focusing on what I would love to see happen, not what's happening. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do with my energy. And then I'm going to be more productive, and I'm going to be more positive about achieving and reaching my goals for the future, because my goals for the future include legacy for my children and my children's children. So just continue to be looking for more positive and uplifting messages from me. Thank you so much for rocking with me and being on here with me tonight as I, share this last bit of emotions surrounding the social unrest, the pandemic, and all of that. Now, I might still talk about the pandemic a little bit, just because that is definitely impacting my life in an immediate way. But all this other stuff, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not posting it on my page. I'm not sharing nothing else. I'm not going to comment on anyone else's stuff, and I'm not going to be argumentative and fighting with people. I respect. Now, the one thing I will say, namaste, I honor the God in you and everyone. I respect where people are, and I don't trespass on that. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put nobody in. I don't have a solution to this problem. So I cannot refute how others choose to deal with their pain. We grieve differently. We process information differently. And again, it is based on our own worldview and where we are. Live and let live. That's just what I'm on. I'm not the same person that I was 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago. My life completely changed. And I'll talk about that more moving forward on how my life has been changed within the past 2 years. I'm not the same. So if you're watching me, don't blink, because I'll change right before your eyes. I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm evolving, I'm growing, I'm changing, I'm evolving. I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, and all I'm doing is sharing with you me, my authentic self. This is who I am. I ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't gonna like me, and now at 56 years old, I am actually okay with that. It just is what it is. I'm just not for everybody. And everybody, the thing is, I would say everybody's not for me, but the way I'm cut up, the way I'm made, I don't have issues with people because I meet them where they are. And I love people unconditionally, but that's the love of God. It is the love of God that compels me. So I know that I was once an unwed mother. I know that I was once, just angry black woman. I was, an ice princess. I was guarded. I was, a lot of different things that I'm not anymore. So if I had not grown and changed, I would have been stuck. And a lot of the things that I have experienced in life, I would not have experienced them for being stuck. Give people room to grow. Give people room to make mistakes. Just because they're not doing it the way you would do it and how you think they should do it based on your disciplinary actions and, how you move and breathe and have your being. What's up, Bruno? My Archangel Mike Howell. Thank you for joining. I'm about to wrap it up, though. I've been on here, I don't know how long. You have to go back and catch the replay. But just because people aren't moving the way you think they should move and doing what you think they should do, that's the automatic flag. You are already wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You are so wrong for that. Your name ain't on their paycheck. Are you paying their bills? Do you understand who they are and whose they are? Do you understand what got them to where they are right now and why they moving the way they moving and who they're getting their marching orders from? Everybody ain't getting their marching orders from the government or from their boss or from their best friend or from the crowd. Some people are operating on a different frequency, period. It ain't that it's better than or less than. I don't see life in levels like someone's higher. We all on a plane like this, but we're growing outward. That's the way I see it. And it starts from the inside. So if I can be 56 years old and still be coachable and teachable, what are some of you 30 and 40-year-olds doing stuck? What's up with that? There is plenty of information out here for you to be researching and growing and being your own person and helping this world be a better place. So with all of that, I'm going to go now. But I love each and every one of you for your love, for your support, in watching my videos and commenting, inboxing me, encouraging me. And you know, you're the reason why I keep going. You're the reason why I'm obedient to God when he tells me it's time for me to open up my mouth. Because I understand that my message isn't for everyone. But if there's just one person that tuned into this video and actually stayed with me from start to finish, that one person is the one person I'm supposed to be blessing on tonight. So be it. It is so. Amen. That's it. It ain't about the masses. It ain't about, you know, how many people are viewing and how many likes you get and all of that. It ain't about that. Oh, thank you, bro. I don't know nothing else, my cow. I just don't. You know, too many of us have gone on about our lives being people pleasers. And while you're pleasing everyone else, you're dying inside. And they living their best life because you marching to the beat of their drum and doing what they want you to do. If you not in situations where there is alignment, that means you ain't in the right place at the right time. That means you ain't where you supposed to be. And God is not the author of confusion. So if there's confusion, you ain't where you supposed to be. And you ain't doing what you supposed to do either. So alignment is very important. All this passive aggression and not speaking up for yourself and letting people take advantage of you and all of this stuff, it has to stop. Now is the perfect time to emerge as your authentic self. Period. Let the universe, let God, let situations and circumstances bring you your tribe and get rid of the riffraff. Let it happen. Let it fall. Let it go. You will be so much more happier and peaceful, and you will have so much more joy in your life. And as far as the social unrest, the pandemic and all that, stay safe, stay strong, stay your ass home. Period. You ain't got nothing to prove to nobody that you a faithful person, so you just gonna leave the house with no mask and this and that. That's like jumping off the Empire State Building thinking that God ain't gonna allow you to splatter into mush at the bottom. You should not tempt the Lord your God. Now, it's clear that there is something going on and people are dying. That shit is real. So unless you being spiritually led, let God lead you and guide you as far as how you protect yourself and what you're doing to stay safe out here. But if you stay home and you're very smart about how you move and when you move and what you're doing, you're not placing yourself in harm's way. Hey, I'm looking at it like when God told the children of Israel to put that blood around their doorpost and told them to stay home so the death angel could go over anything that was outside of those doorposts with the blood on it died. The firstborn died. Even the cattle, the insects, the firstborn of everything died. Okay? So while you in your house, you need to be making moves. There are moves that you could be making from your house. Home-based business, home-based businesses. Things that you can do. Save money, make money, invest money. Period. And help other people to be successful and to do all of the above. In doing so, you will be greatly blessed as well. So, again, I'm just like one of the preachers. You know I'm going to close and I ain't going to keep you long. I have kept you long enough. I'm really going to let you go now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm done I'm not going to be done being sad, but I'm done giving place to it. I'm now placing it at the altar and at the feet of the Most High. And I'm going to get my popcorn and I'll tune in every now and then to catch an update. But I'm about to put my head to the grindstone and knock out the second book and continue to bless other people and my businesses and just do whatever it is that God has called and chosen me to do and say what he called and chose me to say. So if you are just now joining this, and I've been on here for God knows how long, just go to the comments and put hashtag replay. I welcome your comments. I welcome your questions. Don't hesitate to speak your mind to me, disagree with me, challenge me, whatever. I welcome that. I will not be offended by anything that you have to say and whatever is on your heart. This is a no judge zone. So I want you to feel safe. You can use this video as a place to pour your heart out. And if you're outraged about the looting and the vandalism and the protesting, say so. You will have no judgment from me. And I won't tolerate all that, on this page. You can say what you got to say, and that's it. Just embrace where you are right now, because it could be in 2 weeks with more information. You may feel totally different, especially if you're praying. So we're moving from grace to glory, y'all. And the time is now to become the best version of ourselves. So with that, I love you guys. I will talk to you again, possibly tomorrow on Motivation Monday. But yeah, moving forward, more positive and uplifting posts and stuff from me. But thank you for rocking with me during my darkest hours. And I look forward to hopefully bringing more light and love your way. Take care. Good night.